Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We got week 9 recap coming your way. We had another hot week fantasy action. We got our playoff race heating up, toilet bowl race heating up as well. A few teams have seem to have sealed their fate already, and a bunch of teams remain in the middle, duking it out. Nick, good to see you again. Welcome back. How are you doing over there?
Could be doing a little bit better. Packers lost to the Leons this past week, so their season's probably over. But yeah, excited to not talk about real football and talk about fantasy here.
All right. Could not have put it better myself. Get into this first game. We are very happy to talk about this first game. Our very own Texas Side 7-4s. We come out, we get our second Kiffin Award of the season, 153.38 to 115.56. Although, Nick, we do have to shout you out. You guys came within 0.21 of us. This is almost like co-Kiffin Award of the week. So we tip our hat to you for that. We also thank you for this great shirt you got us of Mahomes and Kelsey. We've been waiting to debut it till the Chiefs propelled both of us to a win. So this was a great week to bring it out, obviously. So let's see how we got it done here. Geno Smith leading the way. Continues to look great since we've gotten him 27 points, leading the Seahawks to a big victory. Sales defense also contributing for them and for us as well. 24 points out of their defense. We had McCaffrey on a bye this week. Our running back room struggled with that. Never had anyone really step up and fill that. But Devontae Adams, after getting 0.7 last week, could come back, have a 2-touchdown day. It looked like he was going to get 100 points early, but he finished the day with 35. So obviously we were very happy to see that out of him. That would set us up nicely. We were going into Sunday Night Football. We had about a 4 or 5 point lead, and we had Kelsey and Hardman going up against CEH, and they blew him out of the water. Wasn't even close. We come home with Kiffin. Boys are feeling good. That's 2 straight wins for us now. We improved to 5-4. We're gonna hope to keep a foot in the gas going towards the end of the season here.
For sticky mistakes here, they kind of got off the schneid last week after 6 straight losses, or 5 straight losses, finally got themselves a win and immediately drop a game right after that again. Not the best performance here from them, only putting up 115 on the week. Jalen Hurts still played pretty well on Thursday night. He did lose a fumble, which was, I believe, his first fumble lost on the year. But regardless, he put up 2 touchdowns, around 250 yards. A pretty solid day with all things considered. The running back room, again, has been a kind of a down point for this team this year. Jones ended up getting hurt in that Packers game against the Lions with pretty much half of Green Bay's fucking team getting hurt. But we hope that Jonesy has a quick and speedy recovery. It doesn't sound like it's super serious, so hope that he's going to be able to get back on the field this week, as God knows the Packers need him. CEH saw his least amount of snaps over the entire season, so that's not a great trend here for sticky mistakes. That's been a very much a running back by committee all year, and to see CEH barely play on Sunday nights, not something you want to see as sticky mistakes manager here. The receivers, again, we talk about it every week. Receivers show up every single week here for this team. 25 points for Jefferson, 100 yards again, a touchdown. Diggs, damn near 100 yards. They get 100 yards and pretty much a touchdown every week. They are the focal point in what's been carrying this team all year. And the Bucs D showed out too, 25 points against the Rams, as both those teams looked fucking terrible in that Sunday afternoon game. But just way too many single-digit points here to really reasonably think that you can come out with a win here. So again, that's just something Sticky Mistakes has been trying to get over the hump with all year, and something they're going to need to continue to look at as they're staring down at 2-7, most likely a toilet bowl appearance coming up for them in the coming weeks here.
All right, moving on to our second game of the week. We had FaZe Kev improving to a very impressive 7-2 with a big win, 125.41 to 90.97 over Wallace Pluto. This would mark the first Swiper Award for FaZe Kev of the season and the second Lump Award for Wallace Pluto.
Yeah, starting with Josh Allen here, he might have had a pretty solid fantasy day still. 27 points from your quarterback, not bad. Even though it was probably his worst game of the season so far against the Jets, he did not look great throwing the ball. And that could be a little bit attributed to the UCL injury that it's starting to come out, as that he's had that elbow injury during the game. We hope that it's nothing serious. And that Josh Allen's going to be able to continue to play through the rest of the season, hoping, to get some positive test results here in the next couple of days. We still don't really have a clear picture on what that's looking like, but hope the best for Josh Allen here. Austin Eckler continues to just be an absolute target machine. Another 9 targets in this game, scoring 2 touchdowns, 20 points. He played pretty solid in that win over the Atlanta Falcons. Dameon Pierce looked incredible on Thursday Night Football. Philadelphia is not known for having a very, very stout run defense, but they have a very good defense regardless. And to put up around 140 yards when everybody in the building knows that you're going to be getting the ball, shout out Dameon Pierce. Great performance from him. Also, Chiefs D getting 20 points on Sunday Night Football. As let me tell you, Chiefs D played absolutely incredible in that second half. They got ran over in the first half. Derrick Henry was getting going. They were hitting some big shot plays with Malik Willis. Chiefs D at halftime really fucking stepped up and kept them in that game. Shout out Chiefs defense. And yeah, for FaZe Kev here, they didn't have to go crazy this week. Everybody else putting up, decent to solid numbers. But yeah, no, they're definitely going to take this victory, sitting now at 7-2, looking very likely for them to make the playoffs. And at this point, you don't care how you get them. You just want to make sure that you get a win in the win column.
Yeah, on the flip side here for Wallace Pluto, they seem like they are forever dedicated to mediocrity. We talk about it all the time. But right when they get back to 500, they drop a big game in dramatic fashion, getting their second lump award of the season. Only 90 points. They fall back to 4-5. I also thought it was worth pointing out, we are now 9 weeks into the season, and every team has managed to get at 1 swipe reward exactly, except for Wallace Pluto. They are the only team to not get a swipe reward, and they had it happen to them this week. So that just seems like, more bad luck to add to your mediocrity. No one on this team had over 20 points this week, which normally you can sometimes maybe be okay with, but then 2 big goose eggs in the middle, Gesicki 0.8 and Higbee was flat 0. Yeah, obviously this is just not what this team wanted to see. Maybe now they'll win next week. They'll get back to 500 and stay at their rightful spot. But yeah, this is not a good indication that this is going to be a year that's any different. All right, third game up. We had the Pams falling with a Lions award in back-to-back weeks to fall to 5-4 at the hands of PC Principal, 147-136.
Yeah, solid day here from Joe Shiesty himself, Joe Burrow. 200 yards, touchdown, managed to sneak in a little 1-yard QB sneak at the goal line, putting up around 25 points. Pretty solid day, all things considered, for Joe Burrow. Also, I want to shout out, welcome back, Cordell Patterson. He's been on IR for a couple weeks. We've seen a plethora of running backs in that Atlanta backfield. But just really great to see Cordell Patterson back, even though he was on limited snaps. Found the end zone twice for a nice 18-point day, and Coop had to be very, very happy to see that. Tyreek Hill continues to be one of the most elite receiving options this year. Him in that Miami offense has been absolutely electric to watch. Another almost 150-yard performance, touchdown, 30 points. What more can you say? He's been amazing this year. TJ Hawkinson got his first game in Minnesota under his belt, 9 for 9 receptions for 70 yards. I would say that 1, the Vikings are very happy with that acquisition, and 2, PC Principal is very happy with that acquisition because that's a lot better usage than he was getting in Detroit. Also wanted to shout out Josh Palmer, as he was able to fill in nicely for the injured Los Angeles Chargers receivers, as he was able to put up a 100-yard day and just under 20 points. Very solid performance here from Coop. Pams had a pretty solid performance themselves. And to come out and squeak this victory out, it's got to be very great for them as they try to get back to 500 here next week.
Yeah, on the flip side here for Pams, like we mentioned, this is back-to-back Lions awards for them, and they really did not need it at this time. They find themselves barely outside of the playoffs at the moment on tiebreakers. So it'll be a fight for them to get back in. Top half of their lineup came to play. Looking at that, you'd think they got the win. Kenneth Walker with 29. He's continuing to be one of the brightest young stars in the league. Cooper Kupp with 25 of his own. That's nothing new. We expect that every week. But then you look towards the bottom of this lineup and it really starts to get ugly. Conklin with 1.7. Dow's with 2.8. He would go out with an injury. We hope he has a speedy recovery. Specialists did okay, not great. And then Lamar had a chance for a Hail Mary to save him at the end. He'd only come through with 22, would not be enough. This team, they're trying to establish a new culture. They made the playoffs last year. They made the championship last year, and then they fell short. That was their first playoff appearance, though. We'll see if they're able to build off that and if they're able to overcome this and make the playoffs in the stretch down the season here, if they'll fall short as they had in the years prior. All right. Our fourth game up, we had the Francy Feast, currently the hottest team in the league. They've won 5 of their last 7. They improved to 5-4 with a 145-108 victory over the Philly Cheekles.
Yeah, the big thing here with Francy Feast and this hot streak that they've been on has been the reemergence, the king himself, King Henry. We talked about it a little bit when we were talking about the Chiefs defense with, I believe that was FaZe Kev's team. Derrick Henry was running roughshod all over the Chiefs in that first half. They were just creating holes. He was hitting them hard, breaking tackles, looked absolutely incredible. 2 touchdowns in that first half, 100 yards on the day. Didn't have the greatest second half, but still a very solid performance from King Henry himself, 26.5 points. Ramondre Stevenson had another solid outing as he was able to get 60 yards on the ground and a touchdown through the air, as he's been, an incredible back here, kind of emerging at the midpoint of the season, and has been a very important piece for Francy Feast on this win streak that they've been able to get on. Also, Juju Smith-Schuster played very well in that Sunday Night Football game. 10 receptions, 88 yards, a lot of tough physical yards from Juju Smith-Schuster, which was something that the Chiefs desperately needed in that game with the amount of attention that Travis Kelce was getting. And also wanted to finally shout out Dallas Goedert Thursday night. He was electric on Thursday night. Pretty much any time it seemed like Jalen Hurts was like starting to scramble or having to bail out, the Houston defense is collapsing on him, Dallas Goedert would be available right then and there for a big play. He was able to get 100 yards and a touchdown and ended up as the tight end 1 this week. So shout out Dallas Goedert. And yeah, having those type of performances and some other guys, at least just doing their job throughout the week, was able to propel Francy Feast to yet another victory on this hot streak they've been on.
Yeah, and on the flip side here for Philly Cheekles, they're on the complete opposite of a hot streak. This is now their 5th straight losses. They fall 2-7. Things just really do not seem to be going their way over there. ETN with 28 would be the lone bright spot. I mean, he scored over a quarter of the team's points just by himself. Herbert was a little bit underwhelming. 17 is not the greatest. Only 1 touchdown, though. So, expect that to be better. He's usually better than that. But, yeah, kind of just average, nothing great the rest of the way. They had Duvernay in as a last-minute hope. He would only get 1, obviously not getting it done. At this point, they're pretty much just trying to avoid the lake and looking forward ahead next year. I'm sure that's a sentiment their fans are old and tired of hearing, but they found themselves in that situation again, and we'll see if their future is going to be any brighter. All right, moving on to our 5th game of the week. We had the Cleveland Steamers. They improved to the league best 7-2. 153.17 to 134.57 victory over the Glizz Mafia, falling to 4-5.
Yeah, want to get the bad news out of the way here first. We did have some very bad news this week, middle of the week. Two receivers get placed on season-ending IR, season-ending surgery. That being Michael Thomas, with dislocated toe. Rashad Bateman also with a foot injury. So really hoping for the best for them, and that they'll be able to recover fully and have a great 2023, 2024 season. We just hate to hear news like that. Now getting back to the team that played this week and the good part of this, we were in practice this week and we were kind of talking like, man, we don't have Nick Chubb this week. Somebody's going to need to step up, and this man Joe Mixon just strolls into practice on Wednesday, and it's just like, hey coach, is it fuck Cleese season? I was like, you're damn right it's fuck Cleese season, Big Joe Mixon, Big Mixon. You want to give me a full Chubb this week? Hell yeah, it's fuck Cleese season. This man went out there, 60 points, a whole hand of touchdowns, baby. 4 of them things on the ground, 1 through the air. Dude was fucking incredible. Talked about it a couple weeks ago with teams just like, hey, maybe it's a good idea to run the ball sometimes. Cincinnati needs to kind of get back to their roots with Jamar Chase out, and a lot of teams playing too high against them. Get the ball to Joe Mixon, goddammit. 60 points, fucking incredible day. Also wanted to shout out Patrick Mahomes, as they were honestly like, we're just going to stick at the top here. We don't even need to scroll anymore. These 2 motherfuckers were our entire team pretty much this week. Patrick Mahomes, we really needed him to come through on Sunday Night Football. And it was looking a little bleak there for a while. And I was like, damn, are we really going to waste a 60-point Mixon week and still not pull it out? He had an incredible end of the game. Those 2 runs on 3rd and 17 and the run to get into the end zone for the touchdown, the 2-point conversion, absolutely electric. That's why he's a team captain. Shout out both those guys. They are the reason we won this week. I mean, you can scroll through everybody else. Everybody played okay, not great. Also wanted to shout out real quick, Rondale Moore. Pretty solid game. 8 receptions for 69 yards. Can I get a hashtag nice? And yeah, was able to get a win without the Chubster this week. And, we're happy with it. We're happy that Mixon came through on fuck Cleese season. And yeah, we're moving on to next week, baby.
On the flip side here, Glizz Mafia, they were one of the hottest teams in the league coming into this. They followed 4 and 5 at an inopportune time. They had already started trading off some players for some picks before they started winning a few games. Heading into the deadline this week, we'll see if that continues or if they maybe load up and try to make one last run at this thing. But yeah, this week they played okay. I would say not great. Trevor Lawrence, 22.7. Everyone else pretty much hung around in the teens. Christian Kirk also would notch 20 for them. Pretty much just an average performance. 134, that could be enough to maybe steal a win, but unfortunately this week they just ran into Joe Mixon. It would be too much for them to overcome. So it'd be an inopportune time for them to drop a game. They currently sit in the Mediocrity Bowl. We'll see if they will climb their way up and steal one of the last playoff spots. All right, looking ahead at the Week 10 schedule. First matchup, we got Texas size 10-4s. We're 5-4. We're looking to stay hot against PC Principal. Coming off Kiffin Awards is typically when we tend to fuck around and fall off. So you best believe we will have our hardest week of practice this week. We will have a lot of extra conditioning and extreme attention to detail and make sure that we play our best football this weekend. Because I don't want any falling off at any lump awards or Lions awards this upcoming week. None of that. Second matchup, we got Francy Feast. They've won 5 of the last 7. They're sitting at 5-4 going against Cleveland Steamers. Nick, you knocked off the hottest team in the league last week. How are you going to do it again?
Shit, I don't fucking know. We're getting Chubb back this week, so team morale is going to be high. Also heard that Odell has been cleared to play, so watch out for that. He needs to get done, but he's been medically cleared to play football again.
I guess that is good. All right, third matchup, we have FaZe Cav 7-2. They're looking to take the number 1 spot themselves. Taking on Pams, who's sitting at 5-4. They're looking to get back on the right side of the playoff line after last week. Fourth matchup, we got Wallace Pluto at 4-5, taking on the Philly Cheekles at 2-7. Both teams just trying to avoid the toilet bowl at this point. And then fifth matchup, and also this would really be a good time for Wallace Pluto to get their first swiper, completing the perfect swiper for the whole league. And then fifth and final matchup, we got Glizz Mafia taking on Sticky Mistakes. Pretty low records in this one, especially on Sticky Mistakes, but there's usually a lot of chirping in this matchup. Makes for good entertainment value nonetheless. And then let's take a quick look at the standings before we get off here. In the South Division, Cleveland Steamers still sitting in first at 7-2, holding the tiebreaker over FaZe Kev, also at 7-2. And then Francy Feast now finds themselves just on the right side of the wild card spot at 5-4. And then one game back, we got Wallace Pluto. They're currently in the toilet bowl right now, hoping to get out. And Philly Cheekles obviously in the toilet bowl at 2-7. And then over on the flip side here, we have Texas Tech Sun Fours are actually leading the division because we have a win over Pams. They're actually sitting in the mediocrity bowl right now with Glizz Mafia. And PC Principal finds themselves in the 12 bowl at the moment, and so does Sticky Mistakes. That'll do it for us this week. Nick, any final thoughts before we get off here?
Nothing from me.
All right, boys. Make sure you set your best lineup, get in your good last minute trades for the deadline this week. And I wish you all the best of luck because you will need it. See ya.